say I've never been more excited to give a presentation, and that could be risky because I've also not written a single word that I'm about to say. So, it is going to come from the heart. And, you know, I didn't even finish this presentation until yesterday, and I do that because I really want to hear and feel what the audience is saying before I go into a presentation. In meeting you guys, I realized that Vicki and her team, I don't know who named it, really did a great job naming your association, the Hot Springs Connection. Connections are everywhere we look, and I've seen so many in the last few days that have just intrigued me. Vicki mentioned this a second ago, that we met her in Colorado in 2018. At that time, our software company was 2 years on the market. We went to market for the campground and canoe industry. My experience is in hospitality, and I celebrated my 20th year in it last year. This is the beginning of the 21st season if I were still working at a campground. So meeting her at the Colorado River Outfitters Association, she came out to us, and I thought, man, we might have a new customer, right? And then she says, hey, will you come to my trade association show? And I said, well, sure. And did not know much about you, and you were just starting the association, so I felt like it was a good way for us to learn if we would work for your industry, not the other way around, not you guys fitting into our software, making sure our software would fit you. So we met you a second time in 2019 in November, am I right? Okay, so November in California, and man, we had a lot of good feedback from you guys. You had a lot of things that you still wanted a software system to do, a true property management system to accomplish, and we weren't quite there at the time, but some of you mentioned that you wanted the ability to do memberships. That was a big part of your business, and that was not something that we had built into our software. We talked about it within the few days that we were at that show, and we released it to our clients in January of that year. So within a month and a half, 2 months at the most, we had it ready for market, and we kind of just sat back and waited. We took it to Missouri to our trade association show that's held there every year in March, and right after we got back from that show, COVID hit, so everything that we did kind of just went on pause. We didn't know when we would be able to pick back up. And then December of 2020, so just 6 months ago, we had the fortune of earning Durango Hot Springs as our first Hot Springs client. And I'll kind of talk more about that throughout the presentation. But here we are in Montana making more connections. So a little bit about our software, just an overview for anyone who hasn't had a chance to come and ask us a little bit about it. When we went to market, we wanted to combine online reservations, your front desk management, and your point of sale. Based on my experience at that time, that's what I knew the market was hungry for, was the ability to combine all of those components into one. So our system will allow you to, again, reserve online. When someone calls you over the phone, your front desk attendant is using the software interface, and all of your inventory management is real time, so there's no double data entry or anything like that. And then of course, when they come in person, they're connected to you through the software, and you check them in, and the rest of your front desk management features happen there. Really important, we felt, was for us to create a connection with a payment processing provider so that we could integrate our payment processing, and the software would speak natively to the payment processing company. So we do have a partnership with North American Bank Card that allows us to streamline all of your e-commerce transactions and your retail transactions, creating customer profiles so that you can charge after the sale. That's good for damaged deposits, things like that that you might be collecting from a customer after they have checked out. ARFID, who was someone else we met in 2019, Matt and I, were you at the show in November? Okay. Matt and I met there and then picked up telephone conversations after that show. We were really hungry to be able to provide the access control within our system. COVID kind of killed a little bit of that for us. And Matt and I spoke maybe a month before this event, and we said, hey, are you still alive? And each of us said yes. So we're like, cool, I'll see you in Montana. And that's it. That's where we left off. But we are ready to pick back up the access control, and our hope is that by the end of the year, we are able to manage the guest purchasing and then the door locks, towels, and all of that kind of stuff integrated with our system. So starting on it now, and hopefully it's done by the end of the month, right?
It's our fault it's not done.
Not at all, but it is funny that you said that. I didn't have to, right? I'm really glad I'm getting to laugh because that makes it a little easier up here. Another piece that we heard you guys say that you wanted to be able to do that is a lot different than an outfitter environment is to be able to do the food service very well. R2M2 would be able to handle light concessions. If you were selling a burger and fries, super simple. But when you need table ordering or kitchen management, all of that stuff, at the time we didn't have a system that would do that, but we had an idea for one. So during our pandemic time, we did develop what is called Blue POS, which has a retail and restaurant feature. You wouldn't need the retail if you're using R2M2, but the restaurant version of Blue POS allows you to do online ordering, table management, kitchen management, all the robust features that a native restaurant point of sale system would offer. And the benefit of using R2M2 and Blue POS would be you're sharing a customer database. So what happens over here with R2M2 is connected customer-wise in Blue POS. And the membership and loyalty platform that we developed and launched in January of 2020, that allows you to track purchases both places and offer incentive based on the total purchase from each location. So we hope that that also helps us with the access control and the purchasing at the bar or any of those kinds of things along the way. Okay, and in summary, I'm going to kind of just say that we want to connect with your industry. We're very eager to tailor our software, the features of it, the benefits of it, to what your industry is looking for, and we listen. And here's my example of that. Mercy Hot Springs came to our booth, and I hope it's okay that I say that wherever you are, Mercy. Okay, thank you. Mercy Hot Springs came to our booth the first day of the show. We did a complete demo. You have to stop and pause and think, okay, what other things am I looking for? What else do I want in a software system? And Larry, am I right about that? Okay, sometimes I get scrambled on names. Larry said, hey, can you do GL numbers, which general ledger numbers, so that you can integrate with a accounting system, QuickBooks, or he's using another one. But we said, I can do sales because we can use SKUs to manage that, right? So sales would be easy, but I don't think I can do payments. And in fact, I said no, which I should have never done, because I don't think I've ever said no in 5 years of doing business. But I said, no, we're not able to do that. However, instead of going and soaking in the pool, which I probably should have done, we went back to our room and we talked about it that evening, and by 11 o'clock the next morning it was done. So, and we showed it to Larry, so there's proof that it was finished. And to make the connection, what you get when you hire our company to provide software to you is you get us funneling information. What happened with Larry is going to benefit Durango, and Jay is the person I work with on Durango's team, and we're focused on the accounting side, making sure that it's picture perfect and it does what they need it to do for their business. The GL numbers are going to help them. It's not something they had directly asked me for before, so I hadn't thought to do it, right? But by listening to Larry, Durango is benefiting, and it is our true hope that that happens for each of you. Closing, this came to me yesterday. The phrase or the acronym SaaS, raise your hand if you know what that stands for. Okay. So it stands for Software as a Service. By definition, that is what our business is. But I don't know of many other software providers that really focus on the service side of it, and that's where we feel that we shine. So I'm going to stop there. Can I ask questions? Okay. Does anyone have any questions?